You too, good morning, man. This is Matthew Rockefeller. I hope you're having a great day. How to find your life's purpose. Guys, if y'all are not sure what your purpose is in life, this video is for y'all, okay? So, I have a mentor of mine named Alex Becker, and I learned this formula from him, and it's just an absolutely brilliant mindset that's going to give you the utmost clarity and great decision making when asking yourself this question, alright? Now, while it's great to follow your passions, you can't just follow your passions blindly, right? Because otherwise we'd be doing a bunch of dumbass shit. We'd be a bunch of hippies and love circles singing Kumbaya, right? It's great, but there's not a whole lot of money in that, right? So when asking yourself this, you have to take into account these three criteria, all right? And that is the risk-reward ratio, happiness, and that's finances. It has to meet these three criteria, all right? And truth be told, a lot of people struggle with like juggling this idea, especially all three of them at once, right? But the key trick here, y'all, is you have to take into account this over a 10-year period. You have to think long-term in this. When you think long-term, it's guaranteeing that you're going to set yourself up for the most amount of success possible. Because ask yourself this. If it does make you happy and you see yourself being happy over a long period of time, well, that's great, dude. Because when you love what you do, bro, you're going to get good at it. You're going to get super freaking good at it. And not only that, but it's not going to feel like work to you. So that's an advantage right there. And ask yourself, if I nail this on the head, am I going to get the most amount of, am I comfortable with getting the most amount of finances over 10 years? If the answer is yes, then great. And lastly, you have the risk-reward ratio. And how I measure this is if it fails, if it sucks, are you still happy that you did it, you know? Can you look on your deathbed and be like, you know what? I'm happy I swung at that. I'm happy I took a chance on it, right? If the answer is yes to all three of these, bro, dude, you're making an excellent decision. This is setting you up for the most amount of long-term success possible, and it's really doubling down on, damn, do I really love this? Can you really do this for 10 years? Because that's the most important thing right here. And vice versa, let's talk about it right now, because a lot of people don't have all these things measured, right? So what they'll do is you'll see someone who works a job that they hate, but they make a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money right now. And yeah, the money's great, but they're not really happy. They don't get a whole lot of fulfillment. And when they're on their deathbed, they're going to be like, you know what, I'm happy I worked that job that's made me money. Fuck no, they're going to hate it. So it fails this criteria. It fails it, bro. Vice versa, if you're someone who is, if you're just, you know, it makes me really happy, but there's not a whole lot of money into it, well, then you're making a bad decision. And also, risk-reward ratio, man. You have so many people who are working a job that they hate, but it doesn't make them happy, and it doesn't give them the most amount of finances over a period of time, but it gives them the most amount of finances over, 6 months, and since it's making them the most money over 6 months, that makes them, semi-happy at 50%, but if it asks them, I'm really happy that I worked a job that made me that kind of kept me in the middle, it fails the criteria, okay? So you have to take into account all three criteria and the 10-year thing. This is an important one too, because a lot of you are going to be like, damn, you know what, I love doing it now, but it's not going to make me a whole lot of money a year or two from now. Well, then that's a mistake, because you're eventually going to have to live at the end of that 10-year period where all your mistakes come to fruition, right? So it has to be a 10-year thing. Now, I'm going to be real with y'all, man. 10 years is a really long time, but I think it's there because it's really doubling down on, do you love this shit? And are you willing to work that hard for 10 years? And in my humble opinion, bro, I think the farther you can get away from 1 to 2 year decisions, I think the better, because I'm always talking to you about having a long-term mindset, right? So me, realistically, man, I try to have it between 5 to 6 years. I think if you can take into account all these things over 5 to 6 years, especially when you're in your 20s, bro, I think you're making a decision. I just think the further you get away from this 1 to 2 year thinking, the better, because it's setting you up for long-term success, all right? Now, once you know that, if you're like, Matt, okay, that makes sense, I know that, what do I do now? Well, for one, get to work, but two, let's talk about the Pareto principle. Give me the 80-20 rule, bro. Understand that 20% of the world owns 80% of the riches, right? So your goal should be to become a top 20% producer in your career field, all right? Now, Matt, how would I do that? Dude, just study the successful people in your career field, bro. Find out who they are, what they're doing, and what's making them so successful, and copy it and mimic it. I guarantee you a lot of people are, they're going to seminars, they're getting audiobooks, they're reading a lot of books, they're always up to date on the latest technology for whatever their career field is. They're always improving, they're always upgrading their craft, bro. So when you ask yourself this formula criteria over a 10-year period of time and the answer is yes, and now you understand what to shoot for, dude, you have purpose. You are now working every day towards something that you love and that you know you're going to make it happy over 10 years, and you know that you're going to make a decent amount of money or a good amount of money over a 10-year period of time, all right? This will always point your life in the appropriate direction, all right? Guys, if y'all like this style of content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm out of here. Deuces.